Yeah. Alright, we're back with a new episode, the biggest one yet in our quest to build the world's best E36, not race car, club sport car. This episode, we've got everything. It's the biggest one we've done. It's got poor planning, poor decision making, escalation, underestimating. I saw on TikTok how to make pre-prepared carbon parts. How hard can it be? It's pretty hard. Either way, we're building up the S54 unlike you've ever seen in an E36. We're gonna put it in the car this episode, and we got a bunch more shit lined up. So yeah, this is by far the biggest episode we've ever done, so I really hope you enjoy. So in the last episode, we put back the entire interior. There's just a slight issue. All this, it's fake, non-functional. We have a vent here, we don't have a heater core, doesn't make any sense. We have blocking plate, and then we stole this plate out of Joe's car to kind of finish it up. It looks like shit, because...
This is literally the exact setup I have in my car, so
The thing is, I don't like how it looks. It could look good in some cars. We thought, how could we make our life more complicated? We're already short on time, so we thought we'll make a carbon piece, like the super touring cars, because they look awesome, but a bit more modest. We're just gonna 3D scan it, make a prototype, make a mold, make it out of carbon. How hard can it be? Hoe komt dat, Tjeu? Geef ze door. Kijk, ik weet dat muizen kunnen lopen, maar ik weet niet dat ze kunnen vliegen. Alright, 3D print fresh out of the oven. Just gonna see if it fits, because we so happen to have a spare dashboard. But we'll probably need to trim something, because this is made for brackets and all kinds of stuff, and we're just gonna force our way into this, because I wanna keep the gaps as minimal as possible, as with the dashboard and everything else we do. So first up, we start cutting. Alright, it doesn't quite fit yet, but we're gonna solve that. The issue is, we made it as large as possible for people to be able to use it like this, but we want to keep it further into the dashboard, like only a centimeter out, something like that. The problem is, it needs to go in like this, and this is gonna go past the actual dashboard. So we're gonna have to cut this out a bit further to make it fit. Okay, so contrary to previous experiences, this one actually fit first try. So all we're gonna do now is sand it, put a layer of epoxy on it, sand it back, buff it, make a negative mold, find out how to make pre-prepared carbon, find an oven, build an oven, quickly make it out of pre-prepared carbon, which shouldn't be that hard, according to TikTok.
The next day.
Okay, so contrary to what I said before, this wasn't right on the first try. We forgot a crucial mistake, because apparently the edges need to be tapered in order to make a proper mold for carbon, which I should have known because I'm a carbon expert. But try two. Okay, and now So the obvious next step is to put a layer of epoxy over this. And then we're gonna put another layer on in 2 to 3 hours, obviously. And then I'm gonna read some more in the meanwhile. We got 3 hours, so.
Double cup method. Deze man weet waar hij mee bezig is.
All right, we should now let this finish for 3 hours, according to this guy. We're gonna put on another layer. It's gonna cure for 24 hours, and then we're gonna sand it, see if it comes out okay. And if not, we're just gonna do it all over again. Caution, do not leave the mixed resin in the bottom of the mixing cup if deeper than 5 millimeters.
Moet ik even je dure schuifmaat instoppen?
This can undergo a thermal runaway, which will be potentially dangerous. Excess resin should be poured into a tray.
Je weet wel de consequenties van als het lukt, hè? Hoe hard
Kijk,
dit gaat escaleren hier.
Dit is net als met de eerste keer op het circuit. Je kan beter gewoon meteen crashen en is het klaar. Als het goed gaat en je hebt de smaak te pakken,
Ja, dan is
financieel game over. Dus ook met dit.
Als dit lukt,
Als dit lukt,
dan zijn we fucked.
kijk, we zijn nog niet eens begonnen met het maken van de mal. En
Ik heb nu al zoveel ideeën in mijn hoofd.
nou, kom maar even kijken wat we aan het doen zijn. Ja. I'd say that's a success. Pretty easy making carbon parts. Just.
Don't you think it's a bit premature?
I mean, we're already here. We just have to do the rest. Easy. Piece of cake.
The next day.
Ik vind dat dus goed om achteraf heel goed zijn uitdrukken. Nadat we het hebben beneukt.
This is not supposed to be tacky. Alright, so I blindly followed the guy's explanation of how to mix the things we bought from him. So I didn't bother reading any of this shit because why would you? It might still cure, but I don't think we can use this because it's still soft, so.
The next day.
Okay, so that didn't quite work out, but it doesn't matter. We're printing a new one in different material because we figured out how to Google and we looked up some other experiences and we need to use a different material, which we're gonna do, but we're gonna have to wait until it comes in. In the meanwhile, we're gonna tackle some other jobs, the brake lines, which I've been dreading for months and months now. We're gonna tackle them today or tomorrow or next week, but we're gonna do them. And then we're gonna circle back to this bullshit.
The next day.
All right, now before we can actually put the engine in, we have a couple of things we need to finish up. First and foremost, we need to finish up the hull here, because once the engine is in, it's going to be a shit show. And second of all, we got to finish up the brake lines. Not just finish them, we're gonna we're gonna take things to the next level, because we're not simply going to put back the brake lines as they were. Of course not. No, we're going to upgrade the system. We're going to get rid of the old ABS system, and we're going to put in something new. You might be asking why. Well, this is pretty old. It's a 30-year-old technology. And it's a 3-channel system, meaning you only have one single brake line going to the back of the car, and as soon as either of the tires starts to slip, the system will automatically release pressure on both of them because there's only a single line going to the back. So you're leaving a lot of performance on the table. And aside from that, this is more based on a safety aspect. So this is more intended to bring you to a stop as safe and controlled as possible in a timely manner. But control is not really what we're after. We want to try to get the car to stop as fast as possible. And this is also meant for tires 20, 30 years old. Street tires, I might add. So, whereas the car, if you're gonna mount slick tires, you might still have a bunch of grip. But the system might think you're already on the limit of the grip. So it starts to intervene while you still have plenty of grip left. So, we're gonna ditch this system and we're gonna go with something more modern. This is a modern 4-channel ABS system I pulled out of a BMW M3. So the problem you're going to run into with a non-ABS system, you're going to have 4 corners of the car, each with different grip levels. As soon as you step on a brake and one of them starts slipping, you're going to have to release the pressure. Meaning, you're also releasing pressure from the other 3 corners of the car that might still have had a lot of grip, which in itself is a massive waste of braking performance. And a modern system controls every single corner individually. So individually, each corner is going to get the maximum amount of grip possible. And that together with a mould spurt firmware that also allows for higher grip levels based on aero and tire performance you're gonna extract the most potential braking performance. There's a reason they banned this stuff in Formula 1, it's just that good. So we're gonna install it on this clapped out 95 E36. Right, it sounds simple, but we're gonna have to do two things. We're gonna have to modify the electronics. We're gonna have to make a new wiring harness. Now, I'm not gonna bore you with details of that, and I happen to have already done so in the previous episode where I modified the wiring harness. So I'm not gonna bore you with the details of how to do the wiring on a thing like this. So the only thing left now is to physically mount it in the car and run new brake lines. Because the mounting orientation of this is different, so we're gonna have to make a new bracket. The lines come from different angles, so we're gonna have to run new lines. You know, yada, yada, yada. Just plumb it in, do the rest. All right, with a little bit of persuasion, we managed to keep the original brackets because that makes life much easier. So we made a new little bracket that fits just in between. We had to bend them a little bit and we had to modify some things. And this new bracket will allow us to fit the new pump in the original brackets, which saves us a lot of time. And considering it's already painted, I'm really glad we don't have to paint anything again. So this is gonna fit in the original position. Okay, so when I was building the custom fuse box, I already incorporated all the wiring needed for this. So I was smart enough this time to make the complete wiring harness for the ABS. So this can fit right onto the ABS pump. Clean, nice, perfect. So we're gonna start with the hard, no, scratch that. We're gonna start with the easy.
Litty, tryna get litty, holler me, we can let the devil out. Hating, keep hating, all you motherfuckers need to simmer down.
Wat? Dit is de eerste die we doen. We zijn ineens begonnen. Dit is de eerste. Hey, hij is op hier.
Woman that can lift up a car, help me with an alibi when I get home from the bar. Double hard bastard, climbing out the casket. If you gotta know I'm doing great, fantastic. 8 straight jackets, hate that.
So, if I cut this wrong, we're gonna have to redo the entire line back to the rear of the car. I did, but I measured it. My hand, like, but I trust it's gonna be alright.
Flight and book the room at the Lowe's. Go meet the hook in a luxury rental car. Make a few trips, I come back, I could get a car. Illegal immigrant, distribute chemicals. Pay off the border patrol, I could get across. Speak on me, them people come get it, y'all. Jump out in traffic and knock all your windows off. I can't be slipping, I'm focused, I'm on to the problem. So they trying to break me off proper. Can't play friendly, I'm
alright, so we're almost done. We just gotta run the last line. The problem is, it's getting awfully close to the steering column, which is going to be sitting right here. So, I'm simply going to cut out a piece of the ABS bracket and run this line behind it. So, there'll be more out of the way of the steering column. It's really not going to move under braking or anything like that, but I just feel safer having it as far away from moving parts as possible.
Down below, there's leeches down there. I see blood in the snow. You sitting at the top, you were talking, that's how it goes. Any other human would have stumbled down there with a slow. Raise your glass if you invincible and made out of gold. Sidebar, I'm alive, I'm a diehard. My God, high tide in my pie chart. I'm side eyes getting high in a dive bar. 5 cars on the line in my side yard. From the wall to the window. Hit the crescendo if you tryna.
Alright, we're all done with the ABS system, all the brake.
Hating, keep hating, all you motherfuckers need to simmer down.
The system is fitted, the brake lines are in, we're almost done with this. There's just a little touch-up required at the bracket because we drilled and tapped into this, so we gotta repaint it, otherwise it'll start to rust, like Mark's car. Next up, we have to print and design some little brackets to fit in between the brake lines because they're pretty close together and we don't want to keep them from rubbing up against each other or the chassis, which would be catastrophic. So we're gonna print some brackets, fit them in here, and then we're all done, and then we can move on to the engine cover thingy. I don't know. You'll see.
1 week later.
All right, now this is the first attempt, number 5. 6. We made some small mistakes. The printing texture, the shape, the way we epoxy it, the way we sand it back down. As it turns out, you need to have some experience. Well, we've gathered that experience now. So we're gonna sand this down and then we can actually make a mold today.
Today?
Today.
Switch.
All right, for the next part, we need a clean workspace, so we've abandoned the workbench. So we finished up the positive mold. We're now going to make the negative mold in one try, and that is because we don't really have the option of fucking this one up. Alright, with the epoxy release agent applied, we can now put on the gel coat. It's going to take 2 coats, after which we can apply a 3rd coat, but with a backing material. And then we can really move on to fun stuff. Oké, hoe ging het ook weer? Heb je een lepel?
Leef je, weet je. Even kijken hoor. Ja, even snel de microfoon aan. Ik ga even uitleggen wat hier misgaat.
Er gaat helemaal niks mis. Kijk, we moeten redelijk accuraat op de weegschaal dingen meten. Ja? Op de gram nauwkeurig. Blijkbaar zit er een afwijking in van 5 gram. Dat is niet heel handig als er 8 gram in moet. Alright, so it's now a couple of hours later. It's in the middle of the night actually, because we can't plan for shit.
On a Wednesday, vooral.
On a Wednesday night. Yeah, because apparently you need to have a couple of hours in between each stage. Like making the mold, then doing the release agent 6 times with a lot of time in between. A layer, another layer, another layer, and then somehow it's in the middle of the night. Anyway, we're now ready to put on the last layer, the last backing layer. So we're going to put another layer of gel coat on here. We're going to put a layer of backing on here, and that should be the final part of the mold. We can then let it cure in room temperature. Afterwards, we're going to throw it into the oven to cure for 10 to 12 hours at 40 degrees. And then we should have a fully functional high temperature mold we can use to make carbon parts with. At least that's what the product description promised me. We'll see.
Okay, let it be known. I'm working hard when I ain't on the phone. This ain't a home.
If any glove producer is watching, this is your cue.
Maybe this cold and I'm talking like no degrees. This ain't a fluke. I seen it way before it ever happened. He gave me the view. I had to put in my time on the TV. It coming in soon. I couldn't leave it all up to a variant or an experience. You gotta get up and do what it do. So complicated, homie, it's you. Always gonna wait.
Tim, pass me the tomato. Nee, wacht, het moet geen cirkel worden. Godverdomme.
Dit is echt wel pizza kan
Ja. Kijk, ik ben visueel ingesteld, oké? Dus...
Ja, dat weet ik.
Daar gaan we niet op in.
Oh, jij moet echt veel uit deze video gaan halen.
Said I'ma get into it first. Said I'ma get into it. I can't break, that's the thing about me. I won't put these goals on freeze. I can't break, that's the thing about me. I won't put these goals on freeze. You cannot stop me. I mean, spinach and broccoli. Termination like I'm Rocky.
And that's it. Super easy making composite parts. Just take.
Oh.
Now we wait. Het is echt tijd om naar huis te gaan.
Bol, ja, het is echt mooi.
Alright, so now 12 hours later, and we should have a functioning mold. That is, if we manage to get it out in one piece.
3 seconden wist je.
Hoezo? 3 seconden is toch genoeg om te zien dat dit langzaam gaat?
Als je het zegt.
Dat is zo.
Dat is waar.
Easy route taking a left, it's on my chest. No time for regrets. Faith in the Jimmy like Steph. Shooting is wet like clay. The party ain't maybe this way. I'm taking all of this left to the bank. I'ma deposit and see what it make. Shoot is shoot and so is we. I paid a meter. I came in with Peter like Peter on water. I'm stepping in deeper. They know that I'm coming.
Dit is één mini luchtbelletje en dat is onze eigen schuld. Maar die moeten we opvullen. Alright, that came out much better than I personally expected. I wasn't really expecting us to nail this on the first try. There's a slight issue here with the air bubble that got trapped when we were laying down the backing material, which isn't a problem itself. We can just fill it out and buff it again. But in the end, this isn't really part of the object we're trying to make. Once we have the carbon product like this, we're gonna trim a part of this away anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But we're still gonna fix this.
Well, it's way too early. I sanded this thing down like late last night. Now we're gonna put it in the oven.
The next day.
We took the mold out of the oven and unfortunately it's bad news. For some reason, the surface finish on the gel coat has turned out bubbly and is a bit warped. We're not quite sure what happened. We think it has something to do with the ambient temperature being too low because it's pretty cold in here and not causing it to properly cure against the backing layer before it went into the oven. At least that's my best guess as of right now. I'm still a bit in denial. So we're gonna try sand this, see if we can get it straight again. It's probably not gonna happen, but it's worth a shot because getting to this state has cost a lot of time and materials. It doesn't matter, we'll just give it a try. If it doesn't work out, we'll just make a new one because we're too stupid to give up. All right.
Never back down, never walk.
Never back down, never what?
Okay. Jij bent snel klaar met schuren.
Now, unfortunately, we cannot use it. We tried sanding it down, but we've encountered an air pocket right here. And there's probably more where that came from. So, the smart decision now is to start all over again. Doesn't matter. We'll just make a new one. Cue 5 seconds of time lapse of 48 hours work. Now. Okay. Just like that.
The next day.
Alright, this is attempt number 2. Alright.
1 week later.
So it's now time for part 2 of our carbon adventure. The first mold was a massive fucking failure, but we learned nothing. We tried the exact same thing twice with a good result. So luck is on our side. It was 50-50 apparently. So while waiting for us to cure all this shit, we made a few changes. We hung up this shower screen and we got a bunch of cabinets, and when we sell the rest of the shit boxes, we'll get some more cabinets. Either way, we're ready to put on the second part of the carbon adventure. We're now actually gonna make the carbon part itself. As I've mentioned before, we're gonna make a pre-preg carbon part, meaning we've made a high temperature mold in which we're gonna put the carbon laminate, which has already been infused with resin. So we're gonna put in the dry carbon and we're gonna put it in the oven to cure under vacuum. That is supposedly the least messiest way to make carbon parts. They probably don't know us yet. And it's gonna be a massive success. We're gonna nail this on the first try. I mean, the failure rate has been going down. We went from making 6 plastic molds to only making 2 negative molds. So the failure rate is going down. We're on to something here. Echt heel goed verhaal, een beetje sided, maar we gaan gewoon beginnen.
Ja,
Tough luck, babe. Struck out when you had about 30 chances. One bad day, now you don't know how to pay for the damage. I don't wanna climb. If I'm gonna fall back, it's a waste of time. Keep winning. How the hell do you make it look so easy? I'm spinning, and I can't seem to get back on my feet. Yeah, I might give up, 'cause I'm falling down now. Won't be good enough. I miss it. Those days when nothing ever really mattered. So willing to give it all you've been through. You might just shatter now. You're scared of time. Gotta beat the clock now. It's all up to fight. Tough luck, babe. Struck out when you had about 30 chances. One bad day, now you don't know how to pay for the damage. I don't wanna climb. If I'm gonna fall back, it's a waste of time. And I don't know where to go from here. Is it worth the fear? All alone, filling up with tears, and I'm hardly here. I am still burning slow. Do I stick it out now? Is it time to go? Keep winning. How the hell do you make it look so easy? I'm spinning, and I can't seem to get back on my feet. Yeah, I might give up, 'cause I'm falling down now. Won't be good enough. I miss it. Those days when nothing ever really mattered. So willing.
Alright, that is looking much better than I expected it to look, to be honest. But we'll have to find out after, I don't know, 12 hours to see if the result is worth it. For now we have to bag it up, put it on a vacuum, throw it in the oven, wait 9 to 10 hours, let it cool off, and then we can take it out, see if the result is what we're hoping for. We'll see, place your bets.
If I'm gonna fall back, it's a waste of time.
After only 10 hours.
The next day.
It's done. In there is either the best carbon piece dashboard you've ever seen, or you won't ever see this at all.
So it says we need to let it cool off for an hour. So it's been
But
10 minutes.
it didn't specify the rate of cooling down. It should have told us explicitly if it was that important.
Ziet er gewoon hetzelfde uit als dat hierin is gegaan. Als ongeduldig gezicht had.
Maar moet jij zeggen? Moet jij zeggen?
Oh, dat kan ik niet zeggen. Oké.
That's not bad. That's not bad. Alright, now that we've sanded it down a bit, we got some of the imperfections out, we're gonna give it a clear coat of satin spray paint that's apparently made especially for carbon.
The next day.
Alright, we let it dry and it's all ready to go into the car. This is as far as it goes, really. I mean, I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. Sure, there are some faults and we made a lot of mistakes along the way, but they're mostly due to either not knowing what we're doing, most of them, and either picking the wrong type of material to 3D print or knowing how to sand it and buff it, polish it. Basic stuff we know now. But it has some defects, it has some slight issues with it. Most foremost being that there are some slight blemishes in the mold itself, which now show up on the part. You can probably see it on camera, and it is only really visible on a certain angle with direct light on it. In the car you wouldn't ever see it. But we knew these were going to be in the mold. We knew these were going to be in the product, but at that point we just really wanted to get on with the process. After spending so much time making molds and just doing stuff the right way, we were like, okay, we're just gonna wing it, we're gonna see what happens, and we're gonna make the end product, From there on, we're gonna go back, finish any imperfections we had, and then we can do it right the next time. But we were just eager to get one done. And to be honest, we were really happy with how this turned out. So now, with fresh motivation, we can go back, fix the mold, and make it even better. But for now, this is as good as it gets. I'm really happy with it, and we're gonna put it in the car. All right, we had to do a little massaging on the dashboard, as we've done countless of times by now. The alternative was taking it out, which I really wasn't planning on doing. Either way, we trimmed it away and it should fit perfectly now, which I know because I obviously tested it off camera. It sits perfectly flush with the dashboard. Obviously, I'm gonna make some brackets on the rear of it, but impatient as I am, and after all this work, I really want to see what it looks like. There are some imperfections here and there are some tiny air pockets, and obviously there are some small faults in the mold here, which we are going to fix. And this one, either Joe's gonna grab it or, I don't know, we might even end up giving it away. Either way, for now, we're gonna leave it as is because we're gonna be moving on to the engine bay. However, next time we are going to tackle some of the interior. We've got some special items lined up for whatever you see here is still missing, but that's for another episode.
1 week later.
All right, so today we're at ERA's engine revisions because today is finally the day we're picking up the S54. It's been completely rebuilt, redone, everything has been upgraded, and we're going to assemble it today, bring it home.
And it's not a starry sky. My baby told me with a sigh, saying words that came across as a doubt. I reassured that every day my love is strong and gently placed in your heart. Is shown I can't live without. Every mountain, every sea can never stray a bird in me, no matter the state of space and time. Keep us close and keep this dear, not just today, but every year.
Okay, so we're here at ERA's motor revision because, as some of you already know, my S54 is pretty busted. We found out while doing an oil change, it turns out the engine was pretty bad. Well, not too weird considering it's a 20-year-old engine. We just threw it in the car and raced for about a year with it. Either way, we're at the right address here because ERA's is gonna take care of everything. We're gonna rebuild the engine and we're gonna take you along to show you what we're doing, why we did some things and what it's all gonna look like. Ja, het mooie is, ik heb hem gewoon motor hierheen gebracht. Ik heb gezegd, niet bellen voordat hij 400 pk heeft. En hij is weer aan de slag gegaan. Dus ja, er was het een en ander mis met mijn motor.
Ja.
Een beetje.
Ja.
Een beetje. In grote lijnen, wat was er allemaal?
We hadden natuurlijk lagerschade. Dat is het bekende probleem van de S54.
Standaard.
Standaard probleem is eigenlijk elke S54 die er rondrijdt, die kan het verwachten.
Ja.
Gelukkig was de kruk niet beschadigd. We hebben hem gesuperfinished. Dus alles ziet er weer blinkend uit. Alles is aan de maat. kleine upgrade voor de drijfstokbouten, dus de ARP-bouten erin. En natuurlijk de boring was eigenlijk niet eens heel erg versleten.
Maar op advies van de dokter,
Maar heel fris was het ook.
als we toch andere zuigers moeten nemen,
Ja. Ja.
dan was zeg maar de stap naar aftermarket hoge compressiezuigers was heel klein. Dus ja,
Zeker. En zeker met upgrade van dokkerassen. Is
Ja,
de
dat was ook
duratie
een,
wordt langer, dus de dynamische compressieverhouding gaat naar beneden. En dat wil je compenseren door hoge compressiezuigers.
ja. Met andere woorden, het was beter om alsnog de nokkas te upgraden, omdat ik toch al de zuigers had geupgrade.
Ja.
Want ja, je zegt niet A zonder B te zeggen. Je doet niet hoge compressie zonder nokkassen.
Dus
Het moest gewoon. Dat is, kijk, het is gewoon een OEM revisie plus. Klein beetje extra.
ja.
So today we're going to completely assemble the engine. We're going to take it home. We're going to put it back in the car, and we're going to film some beauty shots for you. We're going to probably put up time lapse, something like that. So enjoy the footage.
Always check the clearance.
He said it. Well, that reminds me of a funny little story. So, Cho, can you explain to me what happens if the thingy here, the oil squirter, that sprays oil onto the piston, what happens if the piston hits it? More specifically, what if every single piston hits every single oil squirter and every individual oil squirter breaks off into the end? What happens then? Does that mean go to the Nürburgring, 2 trips, and send it? Because hij liep wel. Hij liep wel.
Maar
Take my hand and come with me because you look so fine that I really want to make you mine. I say you look so fine that I really want to make you mine. 4, 5, 6, come on and get your kicks. Now you don't need the money when you look like that, do you, honey? Big black boots, long brown hair. She's so sweet with her. Yeah, back stare. Well, I could see you home with me, but you were with another man, yeah. I know we ain't got much to say before I let you get away, yeah. I said, are you gonna be my girl? Take my hand and come with me because you look so fine that I really want to make you mine. I say you look so fine that I really want to make you mine. 4, 5, 6, come on and get your kicks. Now you don't need the money with a face like that, do ya? Big black boots, long brown hair. She's so sweet with her. Yeah, back stare. Well, I could see you home with me, but you were with another man, yeah. I know we ain't got much to say before I let you get away, yeah. I said, are you gonna be my girl?
Vast, hè?
I
sowieso even ratioen dat de 6 uitkomt met dit.
Yeah. So we're in the process of building the S54 engine right now. As you can see, we're on progress. No side quests here.
Wat doe je als je achterloopt op het schema?
We zijn de motor aan het uitladen. We zijn de motor aan het uitladen. Hij ligt daar. Hij ligt te wachten. Oh. Hij moet nog even wachten tot het droog is, dan kunnen we hem echt uitladen. Komt hij hoor, met zijn oven. Dat was mijn schoonmaak, Emmer! We're on a tight schedule, so no fooling around. Nee!
Ja, te laat. Perfect. Jawel, tuurlijk al. Kan je eens even weggaan? Is er wel weinig gaan? Kan je verder?
Alright, so it's the next day. We got the engine back from Eras, and today we're gonna build it up. So we got it all built up new. It's gonna be a fully built engine. We're gonna dress it up with all the components you see laying out here, plus some other stuff that's gonna be ugly that we didn't lay out on the table. We got some upgrades planned. So it's not simply gonna be the camshafts and the pistons that we've upgraded. We've also got some little improvements here and there. One of them being larger pulleys. Larger pulleys mean less drag, because you're going to be making less rotations for every rotation of the engine. So you're going to have less drag by the water pump and the alternator. Then there's the steering pump. We're going to get rid of that. We're going to replace the steering pump with an electric version. This one. This is a standalone electric power steering pump. The reason for that being is we got an alternator on the car, on a track car, which is going to be generating a lot of power. And since I didn't really have a subwoofer or cinema system, the power is just going to be there. It's going to be wasted away. It's just going to be sent to the battery, which is already full. So why not use that energy instead on the electric power steering pump? Because then we're going to use up that energy, which was already there anyway, and we can remove the physical pump from the engine, which is going to result in less drag on the engine, and that should give us a healthy 5-6 horsepower gain. Hopefully. That's optimistically, but either way, it is gains to be had. So we're gonna dress it up nicely today. We're gonna put on all these nice little parts that we've all artistically hand polished, because that's just what you do. You know, you see a fuel roll, you polish it like a retard. And the things we didn't polish, we didn't lay out on the table, obviously. All right, let's get to work. Let's build this shit and throw it in the car. Someone sabotaged this, because I was figuring out, where does this go? It turns out this goes here. Artistically hand polished. It's the same one, except for this part. So I've looked up some old pictures of how the engine was before, and it turns out this one was on the engine. So where the fuck did this one came from?
That's 2 hours of polishing, we're never getting back.
Yes, I spent 2 hours polishing this fucking thing. And Joe already has one. So how the fuck... Ik snap er niks van. All right, it's a long time coming, but today, for real, we're actually gonna place the engine. And I know I said it a couple of seconds ago in the video, but for me that's been 4 weeks now because the planning got a little, you know how it goes. So today we're gonna put the engine in, but not before we put on the last crown jewel, a must-have on any S54, the carbon airbox. This is a replica of the original one they made for the CSL version, except the CSL version is like 10K. This is a replica, but it's the best replica I've ever seen. It's completely made from prepared carbon by a company in Spain, I believe, Carbonius. Absolute craftsmanship. This thing, from the inside to the outside, is absolutely fantastic. There's not a single fault in it. But we're getting off track. We're not sponsored by these guys in any way. I wish I was, trust me, if you've seen the price of these. But this thing, the sound it makes when it's on the car, especially an S54, is just absolutely batshit insane. I knew I wanted this before I even, no, let me rephrase that. I never would have gotten an S54 if I wasn't able to get an airbox like that. That's how crucial this is for the S54 recipe. All right, enough talking, let's put it on. So, looking at this, you'd think, perfect, throw it in the car. Not yet. We got one more trick up our sleeves. You see, even though this is perfect as is, a small drawback. This is gonna suck up higher from the engine bay, which is less than ideal. So we thought, how can we easily solve this? You can run an air line from the bumper, feed some fresh air into this. Wrong. You see, I thought, why not make an extension piece from here to a ideal or simple location where you can draw fresh air. You see, the radiator has an abundant supply of fresh air. Why not remove the radiator and get that air instead? Brilliant idea. Let me show you. So this little friend is going to help us get some fresh air. It's going to go onto the airbox, get fresh air straight from the kidneys of the car. Brilliant. Except this is where the radiator is sitting. So we're going to have to solve that issue by custom making a radiator, or, you know, either way, we are going to fit this onto the engine because I wanted to wait with showing this until the engine was in the car, but frankly, this is too good looking to not fit onto the engine while sitting like this. So we're going to fit this onto the engine. We're going to make the sickest shots you'll ever see on an S54, and then we might actually get to putting it into the car. We'll see. Die bonen neergelegd. Kijk, een Drentse lichten. That's all I'm saying. All right, that went pretty smooth. I think all in all it took about 30-40 minutes, but really it's 4 bolts. You just hanging in. But now, the thing I've been looking forward most, and it's still a bit sketchy because I didn't have the engine with me when I designed the roll cage. So I had to guesstimate where the bar was gonna go above the airbox. So I really have never tried or measured it with the engine. So we're gonna see if it fits, because if it doesn't, then it's gonna be really funny. I got scared there for a minute. What a machine.
Give it to me.
All right, and with that, the episode comes to an end. This has been by far the biggest one we've ever made. I never expected us to come around to this running time. I still have to edit the last 10 minutes or so, so I'll see you when I get there. Either way, this has been an adventure in itself. The carbon was amazing to make. Even though we made a ton of mistakes, the end result was really worth it. And next products is gonna be even better. It did, however, come with a negative trait, a pretty toxic one at that, because we're now convinced we can make bigger carbon parts, because how hard can it be if we can just make that? So, we are definitely gonna improve on this design. We're gonna fix them all, we're gonna make a better version of this. So we probably end up giving this one away. So we thought, why not give it to some of you guys? I'll be posting a message on Instagram next week, including details on how you can get this. I'm not asking you to pay anything or upload your credit card details. You can if you want. But I'll let you know how you can get this one. We don't know, we don't do any of that shit. All right, so that's gonna be it for now. The next episode, we're gonna tackle the exterior. Unless, of course, plans change, so no promises there. But we got some pretty special things in mind for the exterior. I got some pretty unique ideas. I don't think you've ever seen them before, because some of the things I want, we're gonna have to make ourselves. Either way, I'd like to thank each and every one of you guys for watching, because this is the biggest episode we've ever done, and if you're still watching by now, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. It's already gotten more responses and views and engagement than I ever could have dreamed of. So thank you guys sincerely by me and Joe. Buckle up, get ready for next episode. I don't know when, by the way.
Gingen vandaag de motor in.
De dag is nog lang. Doe voor mij maar een patat dunne.
Wat hè? Weet ik niet, op de hoek daar. Dus we willen niks van zeg maar.
Zo voelt het als je aan het vapen bent.
Wat vind je van mijn roos en een raasgekeur?
Hij heeft met zijn hoofd niet lang. Hij is zoveel dat hij zo veel bent. Maar daarom